Alright, we're watching videos. So, I typically don't do a lot of reaction videos because, well, let's face it. I just don't do them. I like playing games more rather than watching them. But I do want to start like a small little series of me like at least once a week going out and looking at what the internet has to offer me. And so I wanted to start with something that like on genre, on par. We got a video here called The Horror I Can't Handle. Alright. Here we go. And if my camera's in the middle of the way, I'll just move it.
If you've been here for a bit, you'd know that when it comes to these horror genres, I truly adore them all and appreciate each one for how it's able to convey different emotions out of different fears. Psychological horror with the loss of sanity, body horror with the loss of control.
Dude, psychological horror low-key fucks me up. Like, I won't lie to you. Psychological horror, I feel like, is one of the worst. At least personally for me. One of the things that really fucked me over was, like, watching... Now, this might not be psychological horror, but watching, like, Darling in the Franxx. Like, brother, couldn't watch anime for 2 weeks after that. That shit is nuts. That shit horrified me to my... Emotionally horrified me. I promise that the ending always stays the same, so there's no good. Was not very cool. Was not very awesome. But also, just played Reanimal and body horror. Kinda sick. I enjoy it.
Even cosmic horror with the loss of concept. Obviously, I am very much generalizing here, but there's a horror I have yet to cover that actually rocks me to my core more than any of the previous genres mentioned prior. We're going to be talking about analog horror.
Alright, I gotta do my thing.
I cannot stress enough how awful analog horror makes me feel. It's the closest horror that's crossed the line between fiction and perceived reality.
Alright, I know this video is going to explain it. What is analog horror? Analog horror is a subgenre of internet history that mimics vintage media such as 1970s or 1990s television broadcasts, VHS tapes, or training videos to evoke nostalgia or unease. Oh my god, it's like that one like FNAF video where they just, he's just on that train the entire time. The shit is nuts. Alright.
The reason I explain it like that is because I feel what makes analog horror so scary is how much its realism is maintained. Before analog horror, the internet had creepypastas, and oh boy, did some of these really scare me as a kid. I remember being up late talking about creepypastas with one of my friends online, and once they got off, it was like a switch flipped, and I was trying
SpongeBob ones?
Sleep.
Brother.
I didn't get much into creepypastas because I didn't want to have bad nightmares about it. However, the idea that people were able to write these short horror stories that blew up and took over the medium is really awesome. Hell, look at what Slenderman brought us. Maybe not so awesome. The scariest ones for me would have to be The Rake, Suicide Mouse, all the ones that were taking precious childhood memories and just...
I don't know what any of these are. Did I miss an era? Oh my god, I need to keep this playing. That was horrifying. Gross. Did I just miss out on a lot of this? I was around for the creepypasta era, but I just don't remember a lot of them.
In analog horror, and while the two types might seem similar, with the idea that the reader is supposed to question if these stories are true or not, I believe analog horror takes it just a step further. Almost every frame is unsettling.
Oh my god!
Analog horror is defined as a subgenre told in the manner of a classic analog style, typically using an old-school, pre-digital style when presenting lore, using things such as television broadcasts or infomercials in generally nostalgic styles.
I didn't even have to look
Something
it up.
I've noticed about some of the more really haunting analog horror pieces is when it seems the video is talking directly to you, warning you with cryptic messages and haunting subtext.
What does it say?
Talking directly to you, warning you.
How do you ensure you're
with
safely outside?
And haunting subtext that are being presented behind old VHS footage and grainy sound quality. For me, it makes me think of watching The Ring tape.
Oh
you know
no!
You shouldn't be watching it, and at the end of the tape, you're gonna get screwed. However, let's dive into.
I hated that movie, bro.
I believe give a full representation on how haunting this horror.
Now I could watch it easily.
Firstly,
back then,
let me know down below the scariest analog horror piece you.
Bro, games. Wait a second. Games like these fucking scare the shit out of me. Listen, it doesn't look as scary because the video's not making it look as scary. But brother, I have played. I think Slenderman once. When it gets dark. And you're like in a room like lit up how it is right now, like mine. Oh fuck that shit, dude.
To make it through some of them, but
my dick and balls.
First up, we have the kid with the camera. I should probably say this now, but the topics being covered in this video are going to get pretty not safe for work, so you have been warned. The Kid with the Camera is a short film on YouTube in the style of an old kid's cartoon show. This is how sinister analog horror can get. On the surface, it's a kid's TV show. The mere idea that something so dark and disturbing could be anywhere is hard to believe. These suck. We start out following a kid named Kalen.
Do this on psychedelics? Even worse! Do you get this?
He can.
far
Something to
worse.
mention here is that it's clearly claymation. However, when he takes photos, it's
Oh
actual pictures. Unfortunately, Kalen trips on a stick and breaks his camera. This makes it very hard for
no!
the kid to get to sleep, as he is very guilt-ridden, but we hear what sounds like footsteps
Really?
walking around the house.
Oh
Kalen
fuck
peeks out
that!
his window
Oh
to
my!
find a weird creature right outside. As it turns out, this creature is actually a sleep fairy called the Kipsneed.
No fucking way! Anything outside my window, I'm punching the shit out of it. Oh my god! I'm hitting it with the UG tech.
I'm the Kipsneed, your sleep fairy. Sleep fairy?
If it wasn't for it saying short horror film in the title, I'd say everything seems pretty innocent in terms of kids' TV, but things very quickly start to head into a very dark direction. The conversation starts off with the Kipsneed convincing Kalen that he is
God, these type of videos are so gross, man. They're just actually so disgusting. I hate it. Like anything that's supposed to be looking innocent looking, it's just gross to see these.
not a stranger. He's just a fairy who helps kids have a good night's sleep, and he could sense that Kalen was having trouble. Kalen explains that the reason he's having trouble sleeping is due to his camera breaking, and the Kipsneed immediately offers to fix it for him, saying that there's a factory in his homeworld that can fix it, and he can lead Kalen to the portal. Nothing suspicious at all about this situation. Kalen leaves his house and follows the voice of the Kipsneed through the forest until he comes upon a house.
Wait, he was capable of taking pictures. Oh my god, this is gonna get far worse. Okay.
The next chunk is a series of photos being taken by Kalen as he makes his way down into the basement of this house. The last photograph we see is of a tall adult man behind him.
No.
So I would say it's pretty clear that this whole thing is about the danger of strangers. However, the fact that it was told in such an innocent-looking way really makes it much more horrifying. The attention to detail is also just perfect. The darted eyes the Kipsneed gives Kalen as he comes up with the idea to lure him into his house.
Okay.
Kalen looks back as if he knows that it's probably not a good idea to go into this house. But the idea of getting his camera fixed takes over, and he ends up going in. I feel like the best way to hammer in these
God, brother, when I have kids, I'm enforcing it into their brains. You never do this shit, bro. Like ingrained in their heads. My parents used to do like the whole like scaring you that so you wouldn't leave the house or like do a certain thing. Like my mom used to tell me that if I ate too much candy, worms would come out of my ass. I don't know, it worked. I stopped eating candy for a minute. Exact same thing I'm gonna do here.
themes and life lessons is to have the horror element, at least done right. And the idea to tell the story like this in the format it's in is what makes it as haunting as it is.
Oh my god!
This next example is one that I think can be considered analog horror, but it's also a piece that really freaks me out.
Thank God we're past that.
For a while. Unedited footage of a bear. Something that makes analog horror so scary is most of the time it's commercials or emergency broadcasts, or like we just learned earlier, a kid's cartoon.
Kids cartoons far worse.
Begins with pretty much what it's selling. It's a good chunk of unedited footage of a bear until it goes into a commercial for a supposed nasal spray called Claridril, and something is already very off. The mother in this commercial seems very distressed by the yelling of her kids at the park, and she states that she is standing her ground with Claridril. It would seem that this
doesn't seem too bad.
It seems very good, as her grayed out world gets filled with color. She gets in her car and starts to drive back home, except you notice her kids aren't in the back seat with her. You noticed it, but she doesn't seem to be. She continues to drive as she takes...
What? Her kids are not real! She's schizophrenic.
And she drives past an active crime scene where it looks like a kid has been murdered.
Oh, she's not schizophrenic?
As they stare at her driving by. Now we get to my least favorite part of this whole thing. She stops alongside the road after she sees a sweater just like her own in the middle of the street. This is after she sees herself calling her phone.
Oh,
when she looks up, we see a doppelganger standing far along.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's bad.
As we'll get into later, the Mandela catalog and the doppelgangers are really frightening to me. Her alternate starts running towards her, and her main lady isn't able to get into her car in time before her alternate starts attacking her. And when I say attacking her, I mean she's getting the shit kicked out of her.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! And runs her over.
Oh my god!
She miraculously survives this, and she attempts to crawl back to her house where the alternate has crashed the car. At this point, it goes into a montage of who we now know as Donna, acting incredibly erratic around her children. And
what the fuck, dude?
We occasionally cut to this version of Donna who's on the phone talking to herself.
Oh my god,
it ends with the beaten up Donna sloped down the stairs while we see police lights shining down on her. It goes from police lights to rapidly flashing colorful lights before she looks up and we cut to black. What the fuck, Adult Swim? Yeah, you heard right.
That was Adult Swim? Nah, but... You know, the biggest scare in everything is you, my guy. It's this little monster. This little one. The little one, the biggest, scariest thing, right? You're the biggest, scariest thing. You're so cute. Yeah, brother. Adult Swim be fucking me up, bro. Listen, I've had my fair share of, like, psychedelic trips. Adult Swim videos fucking nuts.
on TV at like 4 in the morning, and I'm thankful every day that I was not one of the unlucky souls who witnessed it late at night.
At 4 in the
I never
morning.
slept again.
My dick
In
and
just 10
balls.
short minutes, you get a haunting visualization of this clearly depressed mother who has gone insane on the medication she is taking. It's clear that the beginning of the short
They
is meant to
always-
be a
I
parody
don't
on
know
drug
what it-
commercials with the long list
they
of
just,
horrible
like,
side
fucking
effects,
with
and
us,
even on the
bruh.
Claridrill box, it highlights severe reactions. I wouldn't be surprised if Claridrill is meant to be a funny way of saying clarity, which this medicine fails sorely at.
Oh my
I believe it
god.
could be argued that this short is more psychological horror, and I would completely understand, since it's about this woman trapping her conscious mind and being taken over.
Oh
by
my
crazy
god,
side
that
high
face
off
is
Claridrill.
horrifying.
But it's the way it's presented in the beginning as a drug commercial parody that actually aired on television is what makes it lean more into analog horror. There was even a website and everything made for this, and the website
What the
actually had a
fuck?
point-and-click game where you went through the house. If I played this as a child, I would have started crying. However, something I noticed is that further
How
into the house, you
long
get to the
was it
attic, and
since
looks
this
like a man
aired?
has been sinking into the floor, with only a bit of his head and fingers
Ew.
poking out, which I believe leads us into our next example. Another Adult Swim entry. It seems they were ahead of the time when it came to being really frightening, but we have this
Oh,
house has people in it.
for sure.
I don't know about you, but when the premise is so simple, yet something seems so wrong, that's where you get the raw sense of uneasiness.
Oh,
This short has us through the
This is
eyes
so
of a home
cute.
security system, seeing the life of this big family living in this house. Right off the bat,
How
you
th-
notice
how
that
could
one
this
of the
be
daughters
scary?
is laying on the kitchen floor, not moving. We
oh,
bounce around to the grandma watching TV, a handyman down in the basement, the son doing whatever, and then back to the kitchen where the parents are. At first, no one seems to acknowledge the daughter is there, but at some
That's
point,
my
Dad
cat,
points
and
it
it's
out,
freaking
the
me
parents
out.
are shaming her for being on the floor. The mom is taking pictures, and Dad is just belittling her. After a bit, the dad has had enough, and he goes to pick her up, but she is stuck to the
yo!
floor. Both the parents are trying to pull her up, but she is not moving an inch. They start to freak
What
out,
the
but things
fuck?
get even more tense when the daughter starts to sink through the floor.
Oh
You can see
no!
her face start to peek through the basement, almost resembling that guy in the point-and-click game. After a moment, they run down to the basement and place a mattress where she should be landing. However, once she falls through, it looks like she just kept going and went straight through the mattress. We go outside and see the rest of the
No.
family all laying down the same way. What caught my attention the most right off the bat was the title. The family dynamic here shows neglect. They talk about the daughter on the floor as if she isn't there. The son is off doing his own thing. Once the grandma gets handed the baby, she immediately puts it to the side, which eventually, the baby gets outside. Also, in the
No!
writing sequence, we see that
No!
it seems as if they aren't
Not the
listening to anything
baby!
the other is saying, and are just talking as if they are the only ones talking, if that makes sense.
One of the Link's disease.
If you want to say something to us, now's the time. Do the talking tip. Start with number 3. Your mother, whatever. I guess your mother's ready to talk.
Are you kidding
Talking
me?
tips.
She
I'm
could be on
ready
my
whenever
side.
you're
She could
ready.
be on my side.
The
I
daughter
think
right
what makes this a little bit scarier is like, if you have a kid that's throwing a tantrum, you know, let that motherfucker cry sometimes, you know, that's kind of what they need. Like, tapping the kid that's not moving, for example, and like, it's not moving, and like, something's happening with it, that is horrifying. I don't know.
imagine is depressed, and that's why she's stuck to the floor. And what do the parents do? They
That's
mock
what
her.
I,
The
that's
mom
what I
even
would have
takes
assumed
photos of her,
too.
saying she's going
Okay,
to show
mocking is a
everybody.
little crazy, but
This
still.
dynamic is terrible, but that's why this isn't a family that lives here. It's just random people at this point. I would say, aside from the kid with the camera, these next entries are where it gets a bit
Oh.
much for my scared brain. These are the real meat of analog horror.
Oh,
I don't think I need to
flashback!
talk too much about this one because it's probably the most famous piece of analog horror. The Mandela Catalog.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, the horror TikToks I've seen from this
Oh
have been
my
very
God,
impressive,
no.
and they've gotten me pretty spooked before.
No.
The whole idea of the Mandela Catalog is that there are alternates, which are basically clones of you running around.
That's
It's a
horrifying.
YouTube web series by Alex Kister, and I have a hard time finishing these episodes because it just drives me insane.
I have, guys, I've never watched it. I've watched like the first 2 episodes. Could never do it. The shit is horrifying. It's just, it's scary. It's so scary. It's, no.
I don't know why that out of all horrors, analog horror
Like,
is the only
brother,
one I feel the
no,
need to
fuck
turn
off.
The distorted faces that are shown throughout the Mandela Catalog are forever burned in my brain and flash whenever I try to go to sleep. The first volume is an instructional video introducing you to the idea of alternates and what to do if you run into one. This shit is scary.
I know.
It starts showing faces side by side and they
Oh
progressively
my
get more and more
God.
distorted. Just the simple idea of the uncanny valley is more effective than most pieces of
Oh,
horror.
I hate
A
these.
similar series to the Mandela Catalog that I recently
Oh, okay.
found are all the Smile tapes. It's another PSA about drug use about a specific Smile drug. It goes through and shows the symptoms while sprinkling in horrifying faces.
Oh my God!
You are being warned
Take
to
that
watch
out
out
of
for
my
people with those weird
screen!
fake smiles. If you look them in the eye, you are going to get chased. As things get revealed, we learn that it's a fungus drug, and it's become highly easy to accidentally get it in your system, and then you are done. We go on to see two people who got it in their system, and over
Holy
the course of a couple
shit.
weeks, we see the deterioration of their
Oh
faces.
my god! Get this out of my
horror are the ones that specialize in putting you in the story and making you the main character.
Well, he's mogging
us. It's a series
us.
of videos warning you and instructing you on what you must do in order to survive. Sprinkled in each of these series, they have little found footage segments where it just makes it seem all the more real with the storytelling. We are now in the last series I would like to cover. This may just be one of the first analog horror series that was on YouTube. Technically, it could be considered creepypasta, but I'm talking about the Marble Hornets Slenderman series. Each video is solely named entry, and then the entry number after it.
I haven't heard of
this. The story
this.
starts with Alex, who's in college working on a student film called Marble Hornets. Near the end of production, Alex dropped the project abruptly and was going to burn all the tapes he had filmed over a 3-month period. Our main character, Josh, convinced Alex to give him the tapes instead, and we go on to follow as our lead explains to us the content he is seeing on the tapes, and goes on to show us the weird and disturbing footage Alex captured. The entries are all out
what
of
is
order,
this?
so it's like trying to solve a big mystery. Over time, we learn that Alex had begun to be stalked by something called the Operator, which is basically Slenderman. As we go on, Josh starts to think that he's being stalked as well. Back in the day, the idea was that each of these entries were being posted to YouTube by Josh as he goes deeper into the case of these tapes. I know I say analog horror scares me really badly, but because of that, I have to commend it for that as well. It's crazy to think that out of anything horror-related, it's horror that's uploaded to YouTube in the form of old analog footage that gets the most visceral fear
Mandela
reaction.
catalog.
The only analog horror series I was ever able to get into without too much fear was The Back Rooms. Even though the concept was so scary, I was
Now this is sick as fuck. Okay, concept horrifying. You wake up in the back rooms and some like following you around. Horrifying, brother. And then you go from room to room to room. I don't know if you guys ever listen to like them SCP stories. I used to listen to a podcast about it. That shit is nuts. I've heard of one where they like end the stairs and the guy just kept going down and kept going down and kept going down. He reaches level like 1,000 or like 700 and he's too far like down to go up, but he's like at the same time like he doesn't know if he'll find anything if he keeps going. And the guy just dies. It's horrifying. I don't like it. It's horrifying. But it's one of the most tolerable ones out, in my opinion.
I'm intrigued by the idea behind it. Kane Pixels managed to create one of the most realistic CG environments, and that's all thanks to the VHS style, and brings just an image fully to life.
Dude, this is sick. I've played the game. Sick.
And it gets really interesting and creative with its usage. The idea that you can just no-clip out of reality and fall into a plane of existence that you can't escape from.
Holy moly!
Like falling from the sky, but that just adds to the confusion of how this
that is horrifying.
This works. I see at times people trashing on analog horror because it's just cheaply slapped together footage with weird VHS distorted
bullshit,
visuals.
pussy.
Not really scary. And that couldn't be more disrespectful because sure, it doesn't
True.
require as much resources.
This is horrifying.
That's what brings out the creativity. The fact that on TikTok there are Mandela catalog shorts that are really
oh my god.
watch.
These are thank god I didn't stop there. Those are so scary, bro. You're in the middle of the night just laying in bed about to goon, about to watch some TV, about to do something. And next thing you know, you just see a little corner face on the corner of your screen. No need for gooning. I'm going. I don't even need. I don't gotta go to bed either. I'm just gonna stay up for the rest of the night.
Universal horror is as a genre.
Fuck that
That's
shit.
why horror is the best genre in film.
I'll just go downstairs, hit the geek bar,
really able to work with
come back upstairs,
scenarios and concepts.
cry,
Analog horror just brings it into
kiss my cat.
realistic nostalgia territory that just hits different.
If you see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Wow, what a video, man. What a video. Psychological horror, fear of losing yourself. Body horror, fear of losing control or being trapped in a physical hell. Cosmic horror, fear of the unknown. Analog horror, finding fear in the familiar. Maybe body horror might be the scariest. Sick ass video. Go check this guy out. 4+, super awesome. Really enjoyed that video. I'll see you guys in the next video, or I'll see you guys in the next video, because I like the next video.